Good evening to those who listen. It is January 28th, 2025, 6:18 p.m. And here's some, I guess, considered Bible prophecy news. The Is country, which, maybe I should call them the Holy Land. Is country. I don't know if, I'm sure people can figure out who that is, But, code words, you got to use code words. There's some developments here with the president. Can I even say his name? Starts with a T and ends with a P, with an ump in between. With an he's got a plan for Gaza. So I thought I would share this on here. Okay, first off, I just wanted to say also that the Is country, the Holy Land, is God's country, God's people. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, they're the synagogue of Satan. Now, the government might be. So, I want to make that straight, It's still God's chosen country. It's still God's chosen people. And sure, not everybody is part of that. But it's still part of Bible prophecy, and we still need to pay attention to it. All right, so here's a little snippet here.
And moving on, U.S. President Donald Trump has called to relocate Palestinians from Gaza to Egypt and Jordan and possibly even Albania while rebuilding the Gaza Strip.
Now, this is what I've been saying for a long time, for like over a year and a half, whatever, or even longer, where I've been saying, the Palestinians, the innocent Palestinians that have nothing to do with what's going on with Hamas and the terror groups and anything else, why can't they be relocated somewhere? And I've said this in videos before. Why can't they relocate them somewhere? And I said Egypt. Egypt is huge, or Jordan. And why can't they just take them, if not permanently, but temporarily, so they can restore, Gaza, so the people can return there? Wouldn't that be an easy solution to everything? But the former president, he doesn't care about, all this. So the new president, or the second term president now, he's got this in effect where he wants to do this. Getting the countries involved to actually do this, I don't know if they'll be able to do that, and that's why this is a question here. But the president's plan would be that. Get the people out of there, relocate them for temporarily, rebuild the city, and then let them come back. And then they're even talking about putting a buffer zone. Now, in the end, in the Bible, it says, that they will divide the land. Will the president do that? I don't know, but I think it's part of Bible prophecy also. But there's going to be a buffer zone, so that way that there won't be any border crossings and other attacks happening. They'd have that zone, that buffer zone, to stop all that from happening, or at least have a warning that something is coming. And then in the end, it says, in the Bible, it says that Jerusalem will be encompassed by armies. Well, could it possibly be UN peacekeepers, that are keeping the peace so they can have both sides live in peace, or at least a so-called peace? The peace and security when sudden destruction comes. Can that happen? All right, sorry. Let me get on here.
And moving on, U.S. President Donald Trump has called to relocate Palestinians from Gaza to Egypt and Jordan and possibly even Albania while rebuilding the Gaza Strip. It's an ambitious plan, but is it possible? Joining us now to discuss President Trump's plan and his agenda for Gaza and beyond is former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Danny Ayalon. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So U.S. President Donald Trump has announced this plan for Gaza, but now there seems to be contradictory statements released from both sides. Egypt and Jordan are firmly against this. I mean, what do you make of this plan, and is it even plausible?
Well, the pushback from Jordan and Egypt is quite understandable because it's not, let's say, very favorite idea in the Arab world for the Palestinians to move anywhere, whether for a short time or a long time. For Jordan, that could destabilize the situation in the kingdom because about 80% already of Jordanians are Palestinians, and certainly King Abdullah wouldn't want them to be there and take over as they have tried before quite a few times, notably 1970 Black September. Egypt could take them.
Egypt.
The Sinai is a vast expanse where they
Yes.
certainly stay there temporarily. But they would not want to do it without Palestinian approval. So I think it all hinges on that. But as for the idea, and Trump is, I guess, showing that he's really thinking out of the box. He's, I think, thinking also as a constructor and a real estate guy, understanding, given this chaotic situation in Gaza and the rubbles there, that you cannot really build with all this, the population. So it would be easier to move them out and back.
And now, Prime Minister.
Right? So, doesn't that seem like it's a logical thing? I don't understand why the former government was doing everything backwards, and instead of doing things easy ways, they were doing everything backwards. It was just crazy. So, is this possible? And there's one more other part here.
And others, whereby Israel knows that if we are pulled back to the international border, then we will have a buffer zone at southern Lebanon area. And of course, if this is not kept, we will have the right for self-defense and for really pushing the Hezbollah back. Of course, we would like to see also Hezbollah dismantled according to former United Nations Security Council resolutions. But this can wait a little bit for the future. With Gaza, it's much more problematic because already the far-right Smotrich party in the government said that if the war in Gaza will not continue, then he leaves the government. And that means a big dilemma for Netanyahu, whether he can afford saying no to Trump. I think it will be very difficult for him. So there could be a situation whereby Israel will adhere to the ceasefire agreement in Gaza, even on the expense of the existence of Netanyahu government, and then we can all go to elections soon.
So there it is. It's possible. Whether it can be done is another question. Whether the Palestinian side is willing to do this or not. The president now, he is pro his country, and he's already talked about rebuilding the third temple there, and he's talking about getting the Abraham Accords going again. Is this the last president? Do we have the last pope? Is this leading us right towards the tribulation, the revealing of the Antichrist? I think it very well could be. Let me know what you think about this. Remember, his country is part of God's people, God's country. Doesn't necessarily mean everybody, like the government, is chosen people too. They might be the synagogue of Satan, and very well could be, because we know that the Antichrist is going to sit in a rebuilt third temple in Jerusalem. Obviously, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. His country is supposed to be, for God, but if they're letting in the Antichrist, that's bad. But that doesn't mean the people are bad. That just means the government or whoever's in charge, the fallen angels, whatever, making it this way. There, I guess that's kind of what I was trying to say. But again, I believe this is part of Bible prophecy. We need to pay attention. I believe that, the Revelation 12, where it says that the woman fleeth into the wilderness, that's his country, and she will be on eagle's wings, and they'll be protected for 3.5 years. We could be getting close to that time, if not already in that. And we could be in the first part or getting really close to starting the first part of the tribulation. Now, again, it's just my theory on this. Everybody needs to pray and always ask for Holy Spirit discernment on all things. God bless.